What's up, everyone? I have a treat for you today. We've got Jake with Barrel Aged E-commerce, who's got quite a story and quite a journey, and he's going to share some things with you today that you don't normally hear on the podcast that's solely focused around high level. So, Jake, welcome to the show. Glad to have you with us.
Absolutely. Appreciate it.
So, Jake, what is Barrel Aged E-commerce?
So we are a full service Amazon agency, which I still feel like is kind of a buzzword using agency, but we like to partner with direct to consumer brands, people who own their brands. No retail arbitrage or anything, but we like to work with people who actually have a brand, have a physical product, and we help them scale on Amazon. We can help people get started on Amazon. But a lot of it comes down to helping, do SEO on Amazon and, build out good advertising campaigns and so on and so forth. That's a terrible elevator pitch, but that's kind of what we do.
No, I love it. Oh, so something else I have to ask you. The name, I'm intrigued by the name, Barrel Aged. So what are we talking about here?
So
how'd that come about?
Yeah, my business partner and I like to indulge in adult beverages from time to time. And whiskey is by far my go-to. So that's kind of how it got started. He and I were chatting, we were drinking, or I shouldn't say it like that, but we were having some drinks, having some cocktails.
To start a company.
Yeah, let's do it. So no, but we've been talking about this for a while, but it was while we were doing that we came up with the name, because everything was so like law firm, like, using our full names or last names. And
right.
Let's just do what we love. And it kind of makes sense, because what we try and do is, on Amazon, build up these brands, and it takes time to kind of age and get to where they need to be. So we had no means to do like a metaphor, but it's kind of metaphorical in a sense, where it's like, barrel aged, we're refining it, we're distilling your brand into, a good, fine whiskey.
Yeah.
But usually I have whiskey all behind me, but it's just different office today.
No, that's right. So you were telling me before we went live and started recording that you've been using HighLevel for, 6-7 months or so. I'm curious to know how you use HighLevel for your business model and what you were doing before. And so tell me how that works and how it came about.
Yeah, so HighLevel has been quite impactful for us, and by no means trying to be salesy with it. We were super old school because it worked for us for the first few years of just buying email lists and just sending out cold email. And every time we bought a list for $2,000 or $3,000, we'd get 1 or 2 clients, like clockwork. So it's like, let's just keep doing that.
Yeah.
And then that stopped working. And suddenly it's like our pipeline is dry. We got nothing going on. So through talks with other people and people that we had a new strategy and basically use GoHighLevel to just really automate our process. So now going back to actually doing Facebook ads and using Dripify for LinkedIn and sending all these things back into GoHighLevel, automating through a sequence or workflow of touch points for either ones who booked a call or didn't book a call, and really kind of segmenting our audience a little better. And then tracking where we're at, because we also didn't use any CRM really. It was just Google Docs, like, we talked to so-and-so, and really old school, man. We're really darn good at what we do on Amazon, but we were terrible on the prospecting side and actually taking care of our customers that way. So that's been a huge change for us, and it's been really, really helpful.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. I know people use HighLevel for different things, and some people would want to maybe pigeonhole, HighLevel is for this or it's for this, but you can really use it for whatever your use case might be. And so it's interesting that you have this successful business on Amazon, and yet there's a disconnect between the nurturing, the follow-up, the automation, and so forth, and you're able to pull it all together in one platform rather than using multiple different platforms to keep up with it.
So we're not using it in the typical terms that a lot of people do, where they actually white label it and use their clients get access to it and stuff.
Right.
It's something we're kind of working on, potentially getting to, but we're also in the process of building out courses, which they would be hosted there.
Nice.
And a few other things that would actually use more of GoHighLevel's functionality and offering. There's a lot of room for growth still, so we'll see what we get to here, but hopefully in the next 2 or 3 months we'll have some cool stuff coming out and be really taking more advantage of GoHighLevel.
That is exciting. So you were talking about Dripify. So actually one of the questions I have for you is, what other software is like a go-to software, a software that you can't live without in addition to HighLevel and Shopify?
Yeah, it would really be, excuse me, really be Dripify.
Dripify.
Yeah, because we've ran Facebook ads, and honestly, probably in the last 4 months, we've spent probably close to 20 grand on ads and got like 1 or 2 clients out of it. It's just really hard in the e-commerce space using Facebook to get to the decision maker we need without having just a crazy high cost per acquisition, like or cost even just per click and per lead.
Right.
So Facebook, we've really kind of scaled down on. We're still using it for some things, and we are going to bump it back up and do some other things once we get some new content. But Dripify for $80 a month or whatever it is has been phenomenal, because then you use Sales Navigator. So if, for anyone who doesn't know what Dripify is, it's an automation tool for LinkedIn to help connect you to people, create connections, automated messaging, and things like that. So we basically use Sales Navigator and use a Boolean search to really get to exactly what our customer is. So now I'm actually searching for a CEO or a direct to consumer.
What was the search you said you use?
Boolean. Boolean. It's where you use ands, ors, not. So you can create
Okay.
a
I'm with you.
long search term,
Gotcha.
and
Okay.
put it there. I might even be saying that wrong. I called it multiple names for the last few years. I'm pretty sure it's Boolean. But so then we can get super specific and have a list of, let's say I just want to focus on Wisconsin, where I'm from. I want Wisconsin-based business owners who have interest in BigCommerce, Shopify, because I want e-commerce brands. I don't really care if they're interested in Amazon. I will get them interested in Amazon, or they already are on Amazon, but I need to, find them. And Dripify has been huge for it. So we automate connection requests, which I think is like 20 or 40 a day. You're kind of limited to, so you don't get like blacklisted on LinkedIn.
Okay.
And then from there, we probably have a 25% reply rate where people actually reply to us, like with words, with an actual message.
Wow.
And 7 out of 10.
So you're not running any ads. You're just doing automated organic outreach.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that is by far, in the last 4 months, I think we closed like 6 clients that way. And at $80 a month, that's massive return. So we're really happy with that. And in fact, we've kind of broadened out to have 1 or 2 of our employees give us access to their LinkedIn page, so we can then kind of duplicate this process. We just build out their actual LinkedIn page because that's what sells. It's not the message or the connection. Your LinkedIn page has to really tell people what you do and how you can help them. And that's how you get those people to react to you and actually message back. So that's been our focus right now. And that's really, really worked for us. So we're happy with that.
That is awesome. I love it. What's something that you might want to share with someone who's just starting out in the digital space, whether it's e-commerce or whether it's starting out using HighLevel? Maybe they're a new digital agency, or, they work for someone else, they want to start their own thing. Like, what tips or advice would you have for them?
Like, it's something that I've written down several times, and I really need to make like a poster of it. And it's not like this big, amazing, quote or anything, but it's just, you don't know what you don't know. And I feel like connecting with people, having, not necessarily, you don't have to have like a mentor, but just being around the right people that you can ask the right questions to is just, it's so important to growing your business. To me, you get lucky if you somehow do it all by yourself and make all the right decisions and grow a successful business. Like, come on, like it's rare. Like, it's usually some kind of connection that you have, that you get advice, and then you're like, man, maybe I should do this. Because to me, it was people recommended GoHighLevel. All right, you know what? Let's try it out. Let's see. Oh, wow, this really simplified things. I don't use it to its full extent, but like, this has really, really helped. And now I can see, and that then gives me other ideas of, oh, well, if I can host courses here and this and that, well, I got to create some courses and do X, Y, Z. So really, it's just like, take advantage of the connections, or try and reach out to people, get involved in little mini masterminds. Like, don't break your pocketbook at this point, doing Grant Cardone stuff and whatever. It's like, I'm sure it's great and beneficial to an extent, but soak up the knowledge,
Yeah, I agree. Are there any mistakes that you'd like to share from along the way that you really learned something from, that other people could learn something from?
Probably. I would say in one aspect is I also own an e-commerce company. That's kind of how we got started with Barrel Age e-commerce. So I own an e-commerce company, and like anything, whether you're doing a digital agency or working in the e-commerce space, you are going to throw shiz at a wall 100 times, hoping that it sticks.
Yeah.
And like, don't be afraid to fail, because it's like, you're going to. I've wasted, probably a few $100,000 in ideas or softwares or other agencies or things, even just for the e-commerce brand, just being like, oh yeah, I think this would really work. Let's try this influencer marketing program that, promises X, Y, Z. And you try it and you go for a year and you spend, $48,000 paying them, and you walk away and you're like, well, damn, that didn't work.
I find it interesting. I've taken as well my share of a lot of courses, over 6 figures worth of courses over the last several years. And some of them are amazing and I learn amazing things. Some of them, not so much.
Right.
And so I have kind of my own target for myself to get at least one nugget that I can apply rather than judge a course, like, oh, that was crap and I
Right.
spent 10 grand for it or I already knew these things. If you can still learn one thing, just one nugget that you can apply in your business that helps you move the needle in your business, that's something I've had to learn
Yeah.
because, and now I'm also, because I'm coaching other people, what nugget can I take that's helped me that I can pass along to help others?
Yeah. Well, and it kind of like what we're talking about, excuse me, is like Barrel Age got started, our Amazon agency, because through my e-commerce company, I think I hired 5 different Amazon agencies in the course of about 3 or 4 years. And I fired all of them because, I end up talking to this kid who's fresh out of college, who like has never owned a business, is working off a script, is doing XYZ. And I'm like, dude, like we got no connection here between me and you. I don't trust you because I know that you don't know what you're talking about. Like, yeah, okay, you're okay at setting up Amazon ads and doing that, but like you don't actually understand or know and get the goal that's going here and getting how we're trying to, increase our ROAS on these PPC campaigns. But the goal of that is to increase your tacos so you actually have good profitability on the organic side. And it's
Right.
like, you don't get it. So you do that 3, 4 times. And it's like, I learned something from every single agency we worked with. I
Yeah.
learned a ton from it. There was a lot of stuff that we weren't doing right. But then in the end, I was like, these guys just, dropping the ball here, dropping the ball there. So eventually it was like, screw it. I'm going to do it myself. I know enough now. Like,
Yeah.
let's do it. And we were really successful on Amazon and doing really well and implemented a lot of things. And then I got involved with my business partner and we're like, let's do this. So then we had some cocktails called a Barrel Age. And
Were there some times along the way where you wanted to give up and stop?
yeah,
Yeah.
like every other year.
What does your current self tell your former self about that?
It's more, what did my wife say to me over and over again?
Oh.
It's like you're busting your butt doing this. And, because we, like I said earlier, we had issues with maintaining a good lead, a prospect. So we would do really, really good. And for 5, 6 months, both me and my business partner were getting paid. We're making some money. We both had secular jobs. So we're making money with that. Like we're doing really good. And then you lose two or three clients. And then it's like, oh, well, we're not getting paid again. And then you go back to the drawing board and you go, well, we don't have any leads. We don't have any prospects.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you're like, well, now we got to build those up. And those take time to progress and build that funnel up. And so now we're 3, 4 months behind. And, my wife's going like, dude, like you're working every night, super late. You're stressed out. You're doing both businesses. Like you got to figure it out. And so several times, I know it happened twice where he and I had a conversation that said, we're going to give it this one more quarter. And if at the end of that quarter, like we're not at X goal, we got to pull the plug, And it was hard because like we're like, honestly, again, not being salesy, like we're really damn good at what we do on Amazon. Like we're having really good success. We just didn't have enough clients to support us, pay our employees. We had 2 or 3 employees at the time. And if I were to fire any of them, now I got to do the work and I don't have time to do it. So there was several instances where we just were like, we can't keep going like this. This has got to be a full-time thing. We got to like make it. So.
And thankfully you've persevered.
Yeah.
Thankfully, all those lessons you've learned along the way, had you given up, you wouldn't be in the spot you're in now. I think it's a real testament to your resolve.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. And, I think for a lot of entrepreneurs, I would say the majority of us have worked in the secular world, for time to time. And my secular job was owning the e-commerce company. So it wasn't really secular. It was still my own business. But I only owned 25% of it. So it wasn't, but either way, you work in the real world for like managers and bosses and you realize this is terrible. For some people, that's what they want. They just want to go to work and they want to go home.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can never go back. I did that from the time I turned 18 to about 24, 25, maybe I was 26. And then I went full time into the family business, became an owner of that, took it over, and then started now this company, Barrel Age, about 5 or 6 years ago. I can't work for anyone anymore. So that was my other resolve, is like, if I stop doing this, I got to do something else. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. So this is it.
I love it. All right, Jake, any parting thoughts, any words of wisdom, anything at all that you want to share with our listeners?
You should have gave me that question beforehand so I could think about it a little bit.
No, this is it could be like, make sure you walk your dog every day.
Right.
Get the sunshine.
No, it's
It
like,
doesn't have to be deep.
right. Well, there's, again, it's just coming from an event in Salt Lake City, which you were at. There is so much that goes behind everyone who owns businesses like this, like all of us and whoever's probably listening, is like we're doing it for our family. We're doing it for so many reasons, and you have no idea what people are going through.
It's
You
true.
really don't. Talk to people who, lost their husband the year prior, who are going through cancer, who have lost children, who have done this stuff, and they're persevering and doing what they can to spend time with their family. And I think that's why a lot of entrepreneurs are entrepreneurs, because we want to be at home. I'm in my kids' playroom right now. Like, just moved my office from an actual office back home, and
Hmm.
now it's like I got toys everywhere here. If you saw what I'm looking at here, but I love it.
I love it.
My
Yeah,
kids were in here all morning with me as I'm drinking coffee, working. Like, that's why we do it. So it's like figure out
absolutely.
your why and stick to it.
All right. I love it. Hey, shout out to Jake for being with us today, sharing his story. Very inspiring. If you all want to connect with Jake, we will actually, Jake, if you want to be connected with,
Yeah,
we'll put some links down below if you want to learn more about Barrel Aged and what he does and all the e-commerce wizardry. Thank you so much. This was our best podcast ever, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.
thanks.
Hey, I hope you thought that was helpful. If you'd like to join my free community, absolutely free, it's called AI SaaS Launch. There'll be a link below. Click it, join the community, learn more about HighLevel, AI Employee, and the cool things that are being done right now in this blue ocean opportunity that is AI. How you can take advantage of it for yourself to make more monthly recurring revenue. And if you do not have a HighLevel account, in my community, there is a link for you to get a 30-day free trial to HighLevel. Try it out. See if it makes sense for you. And by the way, when you use my affiliate link, I'm going to give you some bonuses and freebies that's going to save you so much time so you can accelerate your learning and your success with HighLevel. Look forward to seeing you in the community and see you on the next video. Take care.